I'm Eddie Field with Field Guided DIY. As I'm applying this urethane to this outdoor wooden chair for my daughter, I thought it might be helpful to give you a few tips on painting furniture. Let's dive in. Go out and get a good brush. I know you can go to the dollar store and get something cheap, but if you take care of the brush, it'll be like any one of your tools and you'll have it to use over and over and over again. I've used this brush probably about 6 different times now. It's still in the original package and it looks new. I mean, look at those bristles. I've used this on paint, I've used this on stain, I've used this on urethane, and it looks brand new. Why? Because I've taken care of it. So like I said, take care of your brush as if it were any of your other tools. So get you your paint can opener and open your urethane. Have a stirrer around. As you're going to dip in your brush into the paint, you're going to scrape your brush along the side of the can. A lot of times you're going to get paint in that seal. So what a buddy of mine recommended is that you just poke one hole in that rim. You'll still be able to seal the paint can, but it'll now have a weep hole to allow that paint to go down back into the can. Now there's a hole for the paint that I scrape off to go back into the can, and the lid will still seal. When stirring your paint, as you stir, you're going to scrape up from the bottom and pull up to the top in a circular motion. Then you can clean your paint stirrer with your brush. Be sure to get your furniture sanded and smooth. Unless you're doing a rough edge and a rough texture, take the time to sand the furniture. So once you have it good and sanded, then apply your first coat. The first coat, your bare wood is going to be thirsty. It's going to drink up either stain or urethane or varnish. It's going to just drink it up. That's just your first coat. The second coat that you put on there is going to be less thirsty, so it's going to go on smoother. After the first coat, I like to take out some 200 grit sandpaper and go over the entire piece. That takes out any bubbles or high spots or maybe even some wood fibers that are sticking up. That takes those down and gets it ready for the next coat. You can even feel that it's smoother after the first coat. I like to brush with the grain. This is our third coat. This is going to go on nicely. So I'm going to apply it, and then I'm going to brush one long stroke. And the urethane will actually seek its own level. I'm not going to need to put much on. Like I said, this is the third coat. And there's my finished stroke. With the grain, applying it to the leg here. Getting in every area. Then I'm going to do my finish stroke. As long as I'm going to do that finish stroke, I can kind of be as sloppy as I want to be. I want to look for drips. I don't want any drips to dry. I'll go back and I'll look at the other side and say, okay, there's a drip, and clean that drip up. This is water-soluble urethane, so it's low odor. I like to hold the paintbrush like a pencil anywhere possible. And now that we're done painting, it's time for cleanup. We're going to scrape our brush off clean, and we're going to push all the paint or urethane to that weep hole. So we're going to push all that to that direction and let it run down there. Again, scrape off the brush and return the lid. As I said, the urethane is water soluble, so we're going to rinse off the brush with regular water. And running it under regular clean water, we're just going to push out that milky white urethane. Just going to keep running it out, separating the bristles and exposing each bristle to that water. Shake out the brush and go back and push some more. That brush is really starting to get clean again. Now this time, we're going to find something that we can beat the brush against. So I like to feather the brush up against the post. You could also use the side of a pallet. What this does is it separates the bristles. Fans them out, knocks the water off. Now once you see the bristles start to fan out, we're gonna go back and rinse it again. Not much urethane now. Now the bristles are fanned out, they're spread out, and that brush is good and dry. If I wanted to, I could even wipe it with a clean cloth, really drying those bristles before putting it back in the packaging. Now I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm already cleaned up with very little mess. I hope this has been helpful. For more home improvement tips and suggestions, click the image on your screen now.